Dog Soldiers. By that title, you probably thought this was about soldiers who are dogs. But this is actually about soldiers who fight dogs. Yeah, they fight werewolves. It was pretty fun. It was a pretty fun movie. This is a movie made by Kismet Entertainment Group, and it was directed by Neil Marshall. He's the guy who directed The Descent, if you've ever heard of that movie. He's also directed a couple episodes of both Game of Thrones and Westworld, which is very, very cool. This movie stars Kevin McKidd, and he was in Train-Spotters. That movie's fucking awesome. Another notable one is Sean Pertwee. He was in a movie called Equilibrium with Christian Bale. He was in this with Liam Cunningham. Yeah, Liam Cunningham, who was Davos in Game of Thrones. So I guess you see that connection there. Yeah, this movie was very fun actually. It was very, very cool. Let's see, what's the title here says, "A Bitch of a Werewolf Movie." One of the most explosive and purely enjoyable horror debuts since the Evil Dead. I don't know about that, but according to the title here, it's this movie's as good as Evil Dead, if not better. I would not say that it is as good as the Evil Dead. However, this movie had some very, very cool stuff in it. This movie had some surprisingly really good acting, actually, from some of the characters, specifically those main three that I said, good acting. I mean, mainly from Sean Pertwee, Kevin McKidd, and Liam Cunningham were kind of the good actors. Actually, Liam Cunningham was not a very good, I don't know, he didn't have the greatest performance in this. It's kind of funny, actually, because, plays, the, kind of, dark, brooding character, and he'll every line that he says, he'll say something like, "You'll all be dead by morning," and then somebody says, "Shut up!" and they, punch him in the face or something. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, this movie also super gory on some parts. There's only a few scenes that are like that, and one of them's kind of funny. The sergeant attacks one of the werewolves, and the werewolf slashes him, and fucking his guts spill out into his hands, and he sits down, and he's like, "Ah, go on without me, soldier. That's an order." And he's like, "I'm not going anywhere with you, so you can shove that order right up your ass." And he goes and he shoves his guts back inside of him, and he goes "Ah, they won't fit." And he's like, "Yeah, it'll fit." And then they pick him up and move him on, and yeah, I mean, there's nothing too crazy happening with this movie. It's about soldiers who go out into the wilderness on a ordinary patrol, just for the patrol to not actually be all that ordinary. Go figure. And they're being assaulted by werewolves, believe it or not, and the fucking werewolves chase them all the way to this house, and then they hold out in the house for most of the movie. And that's kind of where the movie kind of dips a little bit for me in how much I like it. Just because the scenes where they're just in the house are kind of boring because they're not really doing anything. They're kind of just talking, but we already kind of know the characters from the first bit of the movie. So most of the movie, when they're in the house, we don't really, I don't know, it's just, you just don't really see them doing all that much. It's kind of funny too, because they'll just be sitting in the house and just shooting the shit and talking and shit, and then suddenly a movie will remember that there's werewolves, and they'll all fight the werewolves and be like, "Oh fuck, get down!" and then just fire off 100 rounds out into nothing, even though they know that the bullets can't kill them or anything, because you need silver to kill a werewolf, obviously. And then it'll go just from these intense, just crazy shooting scenes to the werewolves got scared and they ran away. So now they're fine, and they just go back to shooting the shit over random stuff. It does feel like there's movement throughout the whole movie, but at the same time, it just kind of feels like there's a lot of lull moments where nothing really is happening, and they're just kind of talking loudly at each other. Still, there's some pretty good monologues, especially from Sean Pertwee. Sean Pertwee. It had some pretty good monologues, and I really appreciated that character, actually. Became my favorite character very fast. I guess this is where I end the spoiler-free part, and I start talking about the plot a little bit. So the story follows a soldier named Cooper, and he at the very beginning wants to be part of a special operations team, but he refused to kill a dog, and so he disobeyed orders, and they didn't let him be a part of it. And then it jumps back to him and his crew going on a certain kind of, I don't know, patrol thing, like training operation thing, and they're just supposed to walk around the forest and, I don't know, count birds. I mean, they're I didn't really remember what that part was all about, but that's what they do at the beginning is they just kind of walk through the forest and they're supposed to like find another team because it's like a training day operation. They talk about their lives and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. They walk through the jungle. They walk through the forest of Scotland and they're looking for people. I did appreciate the embalmer reference.
Just last month, a young couple were hiking through these woods and set up camp somewhere near here. During the night, something happened. Mountain rescue team found the remains of the camp a couple of days later. The tent was ripped to shreds and there was blood everywhere.
Liam Cunningham plays a character named Ryan in this movie, who's a fucking dickhead. He's just an asshole, but his crew gets attacked by werewolves at the beginning. Cooper's crew comes over and finds him, and him and the sergeant call for backup and treat his wounds, and they bring him with them. Then, almost immediately after that, they get attacked by werewolves, and that's when the sergeant gets his guts spilled out, and he's like, "Oh, me fucking guts are hanging out. They run through the forest, getting assailed by werewolves, and they come into this house, and then they hold out in the house for like the whole movie. There's a part where the werewolves are attacking, and one of the characters is running, and he gets just like punched right in the face by a werewolf. Oh, another part of this movie, it's kind of infuriating, is Cooper will be talking to the lady who lives in this house that's holding them there, played by Emma Cleesby. She's like, "I know it's attacking you. It's werewolves." And Cooper will just be like, "Werewolves? Are you fucking kidding me? You must be crazy. Werewolves don't exist." When he's already seen the werewolves, like, rip his he ripped the Sarge like guts out right in front of him, and he's seen giant dog people run around the forest, and he's like he's just like, "I just thought they were kooks from the loony bin and who haven't had a shave in a while and haven't trimmed their fingernails in a while." And it's just like, come on, bro, grow up. Yeah, I don't know. So Cooper's kind of a fucking idiot for a lot of this part because it just doesn't make sense because they're very clearly werewolves, but you know, I guess that it just doesn't phase Coop. Yeah, this movie had, I want to look up actually what the budget was for this movie. $2.3 million. 2.3 million pounds, sorry. Which is like $3 million. So this movie had a $3 million budget, and it feels like they spent all of their budget on the explosions and the helicopter, because the costuming in this movie is really fucking bad. The werewolves look like complete dog shit. They do not look like werewolves at all. They look like people in costumes. They look like they walked off the set of Buffy. Like, the costuming is really bad in this movie, but you know, that's fine. I mean, they're still werewolves and they kill people and they rip their heads off and bite their throats off and stuff. It's still pretty awesome. It's still cool to see. Blood goes literally everywhere in this movie. It's pretty awesome. There's a pretty sick part where the Sarge is sitting on the toilet and fending off a werewolf from coming into the bathroom by blowtorching him in the face, and the werewolf's just like sitting there like taking it. He's like, like just fucking like taking all the fire in his face, like unfazed. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, pretty sick. And then he's like breaking holes in all the drywall and like climbing through, and you know, eventually the Sarge does the classic like hero sacrifice where he blows himself up in the house. Cooper manages to escape into the basement, but there's one werewolf left and he manages to kill it, and he gives the badass line, "You think it's all over? It is now." And then he shoots him in the head and blood goes everywhere, and he kills the last werewolf. He kills him dead. Kills him straight up dead. Yeah, and then the movie just ends like right after that, and he managed to keep a camera so that he could tell everybody his story, and it gets put into Weekly World News. But yeah, overall, pretty decent, solid movie. I give it like a B B plus maybe even in terms of enjoyability. Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was pretty funny too.
Ryan, you tried licking your own balls?